Have you ever laid awake in your bed at night, hugging your full-body anime pillow tight while your Hatsune Miku figure stared at you lifelessly from your bedside table and the real folk blues belted out from a nearby Bluetooth speaker? Do you collect holographic monster cards or giant robots or virtual pets so you can use them to beat up your friends' virtual pets like some kind of twisted blood sport? Have you ever sat in a chair and taken a moment to wonder why you feel so inexplicably drawn to the art, the action, the characters, and the merchandise of a world that seems entirely foreign yet strangely just like home? Of course you haven't. Why would you? It's not the point of TV shows or products to make you question why you like the things you like. And it's exactly why today I'm going to take my totally real degree in cartoon astrology and tell you what I think your favorite anime says about you. I'm absolutely tickled pink to dive into the ruins that are your mind and try my best to delicately pick apart your personality based on your favorite anime series. And of course, just a little disclaimer, these are all just jokes. I love most of these shows, and I don't want anyone to feel too attacked. Like, of course, I want you to feel a little attacked, but you know, to a reasonable, fun degree. I guess what I'm trying to say is if you have a good sense of humor and you can laugh at yourself, you should make it through this video just fine. So, grab your Pocky and your favorite pea jug because I'll be non-stop reading and roasting 100 different anime fandoms and you're not going to want to miss your favorite. Now, without further ado, you probably enjoy watching the drama unfold. You're drama adjacent, like you don't want to be in it, but when it happens, you grab front row seats and a bowl of popcorn. If this is your favorite, I think you're probably a little bougie, a little older, and likely a card-carrying member of the Alphabet Mafia. You also build a pretty dope blanket for it. Loving this tells me you're a bit of a misfit, an outcast, or that someone has told you at some point that you'll never amount to anything, but that's not true. You have talent inside you, it just needs someone who knows how to look for it. You like to be punished. You're not watching because you want to, you're watching because you need to. You're incapable of getting fully cozy without crying a little first out of either sadness or rage. You've definitely tried and failed to move things with your mind or communicate with ghosts. You probably think you're an empath, but really you're just very good at identifying patterns. Well, hell, check out the big brain on Brad. It must be nice having an attention span. You definitely still to this day fantasize about what you would do if you could replace all your boring human bits with robot stuff. I would call you immature, but I think that would be a disservice to immature people everywhere. What else did you expect from a show where most of the motivation is the main character on a never-ending quest for anime bazongas? You are a chaotic good hooligan with a brooding streak, and you cry very easily and often because you're in touch with your fifis. You're out here in the name of peace and love and justice, and I will give you props for that. You enjoy simple things, and you like to turn your brain off. All you need is an easy chair and a cheeseburger and two characters yelling each other's names for 22 minutes and you'll just become one with the upholstery. You're probably a disgruntled day laborer who loves goblin girls and hates taxes. You would probably rather do actual crimes than work a 9 to 5, and that's completely understandable given the current economy. You value friendship and you're always figuring out cool new stuff and sharing it with everyone. You have a weird yet interesting taste in music. You also do hilarious impressions and you have definitely tried to shoot energy blasts out of your fingers. Don't be embarrassed, we all did it. They call you an old soul, but really all that means is that you missed out on innocence almost completely, like you overshot just being a carefree child and landed in a big puddle of existential dread. Now you spend most of your time staring into the middle distance, contemplating cosmic horrors. You absolutely think you're cool, definitely into hip-hop aesthetics and lo-fi music. Floral patterns, jewelry, and an RGB computer tower is all you need to realize your dream of being literally the coolest nerd on the block. You're trendy, you like keeping up with the times, finding all the new spots to eat, knowing where the next convention is being held. You enjoy traveling and will ride a hype train until the wheels fall off. Absolutely not, get out of here. That's a really well-written show. I don't care, get out. You probably like eating junk food for the same reason you like watching this. It's spectacular, it's got the bright colors, and it fills you with a sense of happiness and purpose, but it does leave you feeling sluggish and confused, just like junk food. You've come a long way from your humble beginnings, sprinting around the classroom with your hands behind your back to get that extra speed. You went through insane character development, but you still do have lingering high school habits like cracking an egg into your instant noodles and acting like you really did something. We have to get you outside and into the sun. Speaking as a translucent being myself, I've never seen someone who watches this who didn't have a vitamin D deficiency. You like to stay inside and absorb brain candy, and it has caused you to wither. You're an aesthetic person. Like when you put on music, you're not thinking, do I like this song? You're thinking, if someone saw me listening to this song, would they think I was cool? Your mind is a romantic, haunted, and lonely place, but really that's just the iconic look you were going for. You're still a kid at heart, and that's wonderful, except when you need to be an adult because you never figured out how to do that. You're still practicing your energy blasts in the shower and doing the fusion dance with your friends, but you haven't set up the auto pay on your electric bill. You've never cared what other people thought. I admire that about you. If this is your jam, you haven't lost a minute of sleep over what other people think about what you like, and you have never looked back. I mean, you can't go back. It's literally too late. You've spent half your entire life watching this series. You're still looking for a resolution to a lot of unfinished things, but at least the worst stuff is already behind you. Anything that's gonna happen to you next, you can handle it, because whatever life throws at you will be nothing compared to that chimera ant-arc and being deprived of a satisfying series finale. You've existed in the back alleys of internet forums since time began. The websites you used to visit don't look the same. Everything is scary and new, and you have no idea what the word Riz means, but it sure sounds terrifying. The only spiritual pressure you feel now is the urge to visit your grandparents before it's too late. Oh no, we're on demon time with this one. I wouldn't dare presume to tell you what liking this means, only that maybe, just maybe, there is some lush green grass out there somewhere waiting for you to touch it. Good luck with that, girly pop. You either like this because it awakened all kinds of feelings in you that were hiding just under the surface, or you like the abridged version because you have a snarky sense of humor, but either way, you get the official title of edgelord. Enjoy your AMVs and your new metal. You are the one who waits in the shadows, fedora fully tipped. You know, clipped into the back rooms and all you found was darkness. Any semblance of humanity left you a long time ago. Now your name is whispered in far-off corners and in hushed tones because to say it too loud would be to summon your unholy presence. If this is your favorite, you have a highly specific brain rot that comes from staying up way too late when you were younger. You also might have trauma that you feel like nobody will understand, but I promise you there is a support group out there for everyone. You're stuck in a time machine that only goes back to whenever high school was for you, probably the late 2000s. Your second home was probably a hot topic and you never stopped using LOL to end every text, but don't worry, at this point it's considered vintage. You are as confusing to me as this show. The sorcerers summon historical figures to use as servants to fight each other, and there's like 15 different series, but none of them are connected. You know what? You figure out what you want to do with yourself and I'll come back to you. Hey you, how'd you get in here? You're great, but you know you're not supposed to be in here. You should feel bad about liking this. Moving on. You are a floating ball of pure irony, and your overly complicated meta sense of humor is so alien to the common man, you have trouble expressing yourself to anyone who isn't a Discord moderator. You are that Discord moderator, and you use your authority to avoid accountability for your heinous actions. Your search history is sketchy at best, and you probably should be in jail or therapy. Both? Both is good. You are the most annoying person in your gaming group, and the only reason nobody has asked you to leave is because they're afraid of confrontation. You are the second most annoying guy in the gaming group, right behind that other guy, and you have to defend that guy because if he gets kicked out, you're next. Congratulations on just getting through the name of this one. Truly, it is not every day you find someone who will see a huge wall of text and think, man, that sounds like a great show. You're a beautiful weirdo with a glamorous soul and a penchant for showmanship, but you're also the kid who made up new rules to a game every time they were losing. Your favorite flavor is irony. You're capable of laughing at yourself and you don't take anything too seriously. You just enjoy a well-crafted setup to a joke almost more than the punchline. You like puzzles and brain teasers because it's validating to find out how smart you really are. You're definitely into toxic sad boys, or you are a toxic sad boy, and you definitely had an emo phase. You have all kinds of trust issues that stem from your frankly concerning amount of personal trauma. Also, you know, big sword goes smash and we love that. You daydream a lot, wondering what would happen if you took more risks, if you gave up everything to pursue that passion you had but never put all your effort into. I feel like you're out here naming the literal growths on your skin. Excuse me, is that a wart? Why are you calling it Gregory and taking it on adventures with you? Get some dental floss and liquid nitrogen and take care of the problem. You are terrified of confrontation and you escape into childhood fantasies to avoid dealing with your issues. I feel that though, samesies. You are a natural leader and an environmentalist. You don't like the people in power and you would be secretly planning a revolution if there were just a few more hours in the day, but you're busy with work. You do not go outside your comfort zone, and if someone tries to drag you out to do a new thing, you start immediately planning an escape route. I bet you also have an adorable little hobby like crochet or pottery. You're emotional and you thrive on drama. You crave attention while somehow being introverted, and it's confusing. You are brutally honest and you were trying to fly broomsticks way before those Harry Potter kids. No, you're always attracted to the wrong kind of people, and hey, welcome to the club. You just need to love yourself like you want that mysterious, manipulative person to love you. It feels like if you were just somewhere else in the world with different people, you could really hit your stride. You're always up late, having dinner after everyone is asleep and listening to lo-fi music while it rains. You would like to go back to a time when there weren't so many conflicting emotions in your life. Well, you definitely have a better attention span than I do. I'm honestly surprised you didn't just read the book. People might think you're a bit of a creep, but it's not your fault. Someone told you that demonology and puppets were cool. You've got that same die-hard elitism as someone who loves Batman, but none of the charisma. That's okay though, this is still a core memory, nobody can take that away. You have debt. Every dollar is gone the minute it hits your bank account. They closed your bank account because of the debt. You've spent more money on plastic models than Leonardo DiCaprio, but you do have an incredible collection to show for it now. Your fixations on fictional interplanetary politics and battles would impress even the most hardcore History Channel grandpas. You've got enough needless lore rattling around in your brain to make J.R.R. Tolkien flinch, and your favorite characters are just as queer-coded as his were. If Gundam fans had a family reunion, you would be the weird cousin who shows up, eats a plate of food, and leaves early because you simply are not on the same wavelength as everyone else. Life has taken you to the extreme so many times that you have developed some emotional armor, and this is where you go to feel things again. I understand, and I will leave you alone, but let me know if you need, like, some water or a blanket. If you or a loved one has been exposed to heavy doses of mecha anime, you may be entitled to financial compensation. Seriously though, at least you know you have a hobby you like for the rest of your life. That's more than most of us can say. You want cool android powers, and that's fair, but we both know you would absolutely use them for evil. Nobody who has ever thought about slowing down time has immediately thought about doing anything good with that power. You might feel some strange detachment from your physical self or even full depersonalization on a daily basis. You've been needing to watch weirder and weirder stuff in order to scratch the itch, and your browser history is terrifying. You have cried until your heart turned to stone and your soul became an inky inky void where light doesn't reach. This is a harrowing watch, and if this is your thing, I feel like you eat way too spicy food and get excited to go to the dentist. Quit punishing yourself. Your curiosity often gets you into trouble. You're a master of poking the bear. You never leave well enough alone, and that is just part of your charm, and will probably also be the reason you end up in a news article someday. You also still feel a lump in your throat every time you see a little girl playing with her dog. You have one specific thing you're very good at, and you have made it your entire personality, and you will dedicate an obscene amount of time to your hobbies at the cost of a few showers here and there, but such is the price of greatness. You're running on autopilot and always chasing the next quick hit of dopamine. The people who made this had no way of knowing that you would end up as an anxiety-ridden grown-up, desperate to escape back to a simpler time using their games and toys, but they sure do make a lot of money off of it. If you've never served jail time for vandalism, consider yourself lucky. This was not your villain origin story, but it certainly did spur along your desire to see things explode. Simply put, if you were a Beyblade fan, you are probably on a government watch list. Oh, you will throw hands over a pet. You kept your Tamagotchi alive the longest out of everyone until you finally got a real animal, and now that is your child. The Venn diagram of millennials who call their pets a fur baby and kids who watch Digimon is a circle. This was like someone took all the fun toy-themed animes from the early 2000s and squished them into one big ball of brown Play-Doh. I'm sure you had fun with it as long as you weren't confused by it. I feel like all the music you listen to has been slowed and reverbed and it's giving SoundCloud energy. I get the feeling you would gaslight someone for 3 years over a ham sandwich. I think you're mostly here just for the aesthetic. You are either on a complex journey of self-discovery, grappling with the meaninglessness and dark nature of existence, searching for answers and patterns in a world that seems almost intentionally random and cruel, or you are just a deeply unhinged creep, probably the latter. I absolutely don't know what I can say about you that your therapist already hasn't. Somebody gave you computer access way too young and they done goofed because you found this and it's been bad ever since. You're very sparkly when you're fighting your depression and trauma. You like seeing people who are living tragic lives, and that is just the dark kind of comfort you need while you're bundled up on your bed eating microwave nachos. You live for nostalgia. Your rose-colored glasses are practically glued to your face, but every time you take them off, you are terrified by the things you used to love and how weird they are. You're hardcore. You aren't some filthy casual watching a show here and there on the weekend. No, you have battle scars. You've never even heard of a dub. You buy Pocky by the truckload and follow 173 cosplay accounts. You own a pair of pink headphones with cat ears, or you at least have looked at them online, strongly considering a purchase. You also have opinions on which VTuber is the best. You were raised on Harry Potter and anime, and whoever figured that out cooked this up knowing exactly what appeals to you. Explain yourself. Immediately. Explain the plot. Explain the art. You know what? Don't even bother. We're gonna move on. Much like Humpty Dumpty, you are broken, and nobody on this earth has the power to put your shattered pieces back together again. Spending too much time in the VR chat these days, are ya? Well, who can blame you? The real world is kinda lame right now. You are also spending too much time online, but it's on MMORPGs. You actually haven't left the internet since the 2000s, and now you're filled with weird propaganda and useless wiki articles. You're a true crime fan, podcasts, shows, the whole 9 yards. You're a nihilist, or at the very least extremely edgy, and you believe in aliens. You were lost in the fan service sauce decades ago, and there is definitely no fixing you now. You started out really hopeful and optimistic, and then as time went on, you got less and less enthusiastic about what you were experiencing. Yes, you are a conspiracy theorist, and no, I do not want to hear what you think about what really happened to JFK. You're just trying really hard to find the cutest male romance possible because it gives you very intense feelings. You've been binge-watching influencer boxing, and you definitely drink pre-workout. The only phantom here is the long-forgotten ghost of your self-respect. You're either really niche and retro in what you like, or you were just around when this came out. Either way, you have excellent taste. I have no notes. Would you like to hang out later? You saw the creator of Metal Gear talk this up on Twitter and you had to check it out, and as it turns out, Kojima don't miss. You saw this as a very young child and it altered your brain chemistry, possibly because it was your first experience with anime and you have never been the same since. Some people gaslight for evil, but you gaslight for justice, and that is exactly what you tell yourself when you're actively lying to the people you love. You're borderline ashamed to admit it, but you're here for the whole thing, annoying protagonist and fan service included, but honey, there are no guilty pleasures. You enjoy watching characters play 4D chess with their brain because you don't even know how to play checkers. You eat your steaks rare, you're really into Norse mythology, and you're a history nerd. Inside you, there are two wolves, and both of them are weebs. You are one of the only people that can do that little cat's cradle thing with a piece of string. You know exactly what I'm talking about, and you're basically magic. You are ridiculous, but you make delicious food, and that is why we love you. Thank you so much for watching. Please like the video and subscribe if you haven't yet, and hit that notification bell. If you want to see more videos like these, let me know in the comments, and I'll see you next time.